Introducing Hawaii Living with Ann Lee, a culinary journey through paradise, offering viewers an intimate look at the people, places, and flavors that make Hawaii truly special.
The holidays are here and many local families honor Asian traditions to bring good luck and prosperity. Mochi pounding, or mochitsuki, is a Japanese tradition that usually takes place in late December, the 25th to 28th, to bring good luck for the new year. The sticky rice symbolizes how this binds the families together. I was invited to the home of Sue Araki Kaninau and her husband Daryl to help celebrate the 100-year reunion of the Murakami and Araki families' mochi pounding mochitsuki event. Family members from all over the world gathered here to celebrate as the old generation passes their legacy down to the next.
What happened was we had planned a 100th anniversary, not a reunion, it was just to celebrate mochi pounding here in Manoa a few years back, but COVID stepped in, and so we had to postpone it. And since then, we had planned this. Every 5 years, our family gets together with, about 200 of us from the mainland and from here. And because we were doing it at this time, normally we pound mochi the weekend before the New Year, But because, everyone was coming here and the whole family, Arakis and Murakamis are gathering, we decided let's just do a celebration. So that happens every 5 years. It's been a tradition. My sister, my older sister Sandy, and my other younger sister Lynn, who has since passed last year, and it's like we started this reunions years ago. So we've had several every 5 years and kind of kept the tradition, and we've always had a lot of participation from cousins to come and help and help in the committees that we've started and have had these gatherings. And this year Sandy and I decided, okay, it's time, we'll pass the baton and have the younger group who are willing to come and help us continue the legacy of our parents and our grandparents. But for us, it meant more. It meant more of the tradition. We needed the younger ones to understand that this is more tradition. It's what we need and why we do things the way we do. The things we have learned. Because all of these jobs that you need to do are passed down. To pound the rice, the men usually would take care of doing that, but there was a succession, of the older ones teaching the younger ones, and then when the younger ones felt like they could do it and they were ready to do it, handling the rice itself, washing from the person who washes the rice. And it's already washed, but they still have to rinse it through and put it into the steamer boxes. We label each one so that name goes on with the family. They'll choose a word that we kind of picked out, positive words for the new year. So anything positive, being thoughtful, just anything that comes to mind that's a good feeling. You can write that down. And when my husband took over, and my uncle had done it with my grandmother at their home, and when grandma passed away, it was, my husband told me, well, since my mother was the eldest daughter, he wouldn't mind, we could bring it to our house and give uncle and auntie, a break. And so they were more than willing to say, yes, go ahead. So we brought it over here with my mom and continued the celebration. The tradition.
We became the vendors, or the ones who take over from. Actually, it started with my wife's uncle.
So I know that your wife is part of the Iraqi family.
Correct.
So tell me about that.
Okay, so my wife is her mom is an Iraqi, and her grandmother is an Iraqi that they all went over to where she was living, the grandmother, and she was living with her son, Clifford Iraqi, and they did it every year. When I met my wife and I went there, they were doing the old traditional way of burning Calvin wood and get up early in the morning and have to burn the wood to make sure that enough charcoal to boil the water. So when I went there, I looked at things. I said, can I advance it a little bit by bringing gas stoves?
Is that okay?
I asked the uncle. Uncle said, sure. So it was fine, and ever since then, we didn't have to get up early in the morning to burn the Kelpie wood. We'll get up when it's getting a little bit brighter, and then start going with boiling of water. So
you shaved a couple hours.
Shaved a couple hours, made life a little bit easier for the older ones, so they don't have to get up that early. It worked out fine. Once we were doing it over there at Uncle's house, and when my wife's grandmother passed away, my mother-in-law is the oldest. She's the oldest girl in the family. So we were talking, my wife and I, and we asked my mother-in-law. Of course, we also asked my uncle, the Uncle Clifford, who hadn't had it all this time. Is it okay if we bring it over to our place? And I wanted to make sure that that we're doing the same thing that they've been doing for years, and we didn't change the tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So we brought it over to my house, a little modifications here and there, but we actually got very large. Yeah, there are steps and procedures that we all follow, so it makes it unique.
Wow, that's a good thing you're on that team.
So it's going to come down to this.
Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
All right, pop quiz, guys. Do you ever wonder how farm fresh ingredients get from the farm to the restaurant? You probably don't think about stuff like that, but that's all we think about. But we're not a farm, and we're not a restaurant. We're the guys who connect the best local products to the best restaurants. We search out new food trends, help with menu options. We're Cisco, and you probably don't know everything we do. But your favorite restaurant? Yeah, they do.
We continue our journey in Manoa Valley because it all happened in Manoa with the Murakami and Iraqi families. Auntie Patty, who shares the importance on keeping this tradition alive, joins me, and we also see firsthand the process of making mochi with Craig Mukawa, who also happens to be my friend Kristen Wood's dad. And we're back in Manoa. It all started in Manoa. We have Auntie Patty. She is the Happy Bull. Everyone knows her as the Happy Bull, and she is representing the Murakami side. And thank you for doing this because the Iraqis and Murakami families together have made this a 100-year tradition. Tell me why this is so important for you.
Well, as you said, it's a 100-year tradition. My grandma was the sister of the Iraqi grandma, and they both came to Hawaii. And were pounding actually mochi when they first came. It was just the two of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so it used to be the ladies that would do all
everything.
The mochi pounding. Mm-hmm.
Pick the kiawe wood.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, from those two, from my grandmas,
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody said that it's been passed along to their children, which is our parents' generation, and then our generation, and my dad was the oldest son of the Murakami family. So he would be at all of these family events and of course drag along all the kids. But we loved it.
Yeah.
We just loved it from when we were small kid time. Just to see all of our cousins
Yeah.
and the camaraderie
Yeah.
and everything. It was just very, very special. And it's, as we get older, it's really wonderful to see the next generation,
Yeah. It's so important. Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really like shipping in and starting to take over.
Yeah, they have to. We have to keep this tradition alive. Yeah, so that's why, thank you for sharing, because that's why I wanted you folks to be a part of this, because we have to spread the word and the aloha about this.
Spread the tradition. The tradition gotta keep going.
Yes, 100%. Thank you. That's why they call you the Happy Bull. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It all started in Manoa. We are at Daryl and Sue's house in Manoa, and we are with Kristen Wood's dad, who is third generation Iraqi. We are celebrating 100 years of mochi pounding. Their family is together to do a reunion as well as celebrating the 100 years.
Pounding.
You're gonna walk me through this process because this is the most important part.
Correct. Yes.
So these are the.
So first of all, yes. So when the family bring their rice, we rinse it and put it inside the boxes that we have 3 here, and then we go 1, 2, 3. So as time go on, we already got hot water in the usu, so it keeps the stone warm, and the usu, and then so about an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, we check the rice to see if it's smooth enough, and then we empty out the water and we put that. We take the bottom out. The bottom is already cooked, so we put that in, and then the next one goes down, and then the next with that box they clean it out and put the next family's ones.
Like rotation.
Yes. The bottom is always going to be inside the usu.
So we're also talking about how Daryl actually gave you guys some time incorporating propane instead of going all the way up to the mountain, getting Kiabi wood, and then having to burn.
In fact, before, when my uncle folks and even for us growing up as kids, we had to go gather woods or any kind of wood, firewood, because it always had to be going.
Wow.
So that was a chore just to get. But now we get propane, so it's so super easy now. I mean, easier. You don't have to check the fire all the time. But then as we put the mochi in the usu, then we have 3.
What is this called?
This is a mallet. Oh, we call it mallet or a mochi.
And Daryl also made this.
Yes, he made. Well, the handle is bought, but before we used to make. Before we had to, Daryl would get small pieces of guava stick or lighter ones, and then we used to get the guava from the mount from Manoa in the back, and we used to cut it and then leave it for like a year or 6 months to let it, get dry.
Wow.
Because you don't want it, and it's heavy too, right? Yeah. When it's wet, when you just cut the branch, and then after that we keep on mixing, rotating the mochi so each grain is stuck together to be smooth. Then when it's ready, the person that's controlling it, he says, okay, 2 pounders, then 2 people pound.
Who is the group leader in this mission today?
Well, everybody basically knows, what their duties are.
Okay.
Especially, but basically the person that is mixing, he's the one is controlling this right here. Because the next one will be another mixer.
Right, that's like
like when they're ready. So, but actually, Rick, my brother, he knows when the rice can go in.
Wow, he just knows?
Yeah, because he the one that feels it. Yeah.
He just has this call.
No.
When the rice
because he puts it on and he has a timer. customer, he knows about when the next batches should go on. So, but anyway, we have after pounding, then the person that's controlling this is okay, one man. Then that's when they start mixing, like pound, mix, pound, mix.
So we're gonna see this in action.
Yeah, it's
when
gonna
this
be
is ready.
Yes.
And when we come back, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're going to get one of your cousins that are here from LA.
Yes.
We're gonna get her perspective.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sure. Yep.
Okay, we'll be right back.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
All right, pop quiz, guys. Do you ever wonder how farm fresh ingredients get from the farm to the restaurant? You probably don't think about stuff like that, but that's all we think about. But we're not a farm, and we're not a restaurant. We're the guys who connect the best local products to the best restaurants. We search out new food trends, help with menu options. We're Cisco, and you probably don't know everything we do. But your favorite restaurant? Yeah, they do.
I meet with the young generation that will be taking on this legacy. The diaspora in Hawaii is very real, but these family members still refer to Hawaii as home. The distances never waver their loyalty to family and tradition, and they tell me how they will continue the tradition so far away from home. We are in Manoa because it all started in Manoa, and joining me is Rayanne. She is actually here. She's born and raised here, but she lives in LA, so we wanted to get your perspective on this tradition. Okay. Give me some fond memories that you might have that you can remember.
Well, every holiday season, we would, have an annual Christmas party with the both Iraqi and Murakami families, and then we all look forward to mochitsuki on the Saturday preceding New Year's Eve.
So it was maybe a week before New Year's?
Just a few days before New Year's, so that the mochi would be fresh. And back in those days, it was just the adults that did the mochi pounding and the shaping of the mochi. The kids weren't allowed to because they really had to work fast so that the mochi could stay hot and pliable. So the kids would just play, and at that time, it was at my great-grandmother's house, which was right next to the Manoa stream. So the kids would play in the stream, we'd go to the park.
Just until the mochi was ready.
Until the mochi was ready, and then we would have, a few bites, and then it was just nice to have lunch and just talk to everybody at that time.
So being in LA, there is a big Japanese community in LA.
Yes.
Do you kind of see this type of legacy or this kind of tradition happening there?
Yes. Fortunately, I live in the Torrance Gardena area, which there is a huge Japanese American population. There are very few families who do mochitsuki, but a lot of the organizations will have it. A lot of the nonprofits will have their, and even some of the business will have mochitsuki for their patrons or for the community.
But they don't do it at home like this.
Very few. I only know of 2 families that do it at home.
So this is really special. This is a legacy that you folks have to keep alive.
Yes,
going.
yes.
But thank you for sharing your perspective and coming from LA to make sure that you're part of this celebration. So it all started in Manoa with the Araki and Murakami family, and joining me is the last of the Murakamis on your father's side.
Yes. Yeah.
Ali is part of the new generation, right? That's going to keep us alive.
Yeah.
Tell me what, okay, you're 28 years young.
I'm 28 years old, yep.
And why is this important for you to keep this tradition alive?
I mean, it's family, it's our history, it's something that, as I've learned, isn't even popular or common in Japan today.
Wow.
It's such a traditional thing that really maybe only some of like the country towns will do it, but it's been lost throughout the years, even with our own heritage, our own blood, that it's like a little time capsule that's like left in Hawaii, that only, you know, we're one of the only families that do it, and let alone having done it 100 or over 100 years, it's something that I think ties us to our heritage, ties us to our roots. And the more that I've learned about it, the more that I've heard all the stories on, you know, what it was like for my grandparents and all of them when they were growing up, the more I realize just how important and precious it is just to keep it going.
Sure. So being of your generation, what are things that you feel you can do to keep it going? Because when you look at the population, there seems to be a gap of people in your generation having children and things like that. So what are some things that you think you're going to be able to do to keep this tradition alive?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things is just staying on top of it, like just making sure that I stay in contact with my family. You know, living in California and not here, there's already a little bit of like a divide and a separation. But, you know, thankfully we have, you know, emails, we have phones, we have social media that we use to be able to stay up to date and just stay connected. And so I think just making sure that time doesn't get away from us, that we use the time that we have now, the resources that we have to be like, okay, what are we doing next year? Like, yes, we had this reunion and it was great, but what are we going to do now to make sure that the next one or even next year's mochitsuki is even stronger and better than it was before? I think, you know, even though people might not be having kids at the same rate as they were before, like we still have them. And so being intentional with the younger kids that we have now, no matter how big or small those numbers may be, of just really instilling in them the importance of what we're doing so that it doesn't get stuck or lost with my generation, but we keep passing it on to however many we have that are even younger, the Gen X, the Gen Y, the Gen Alpha generation.
Wow, no, that's great. That is really great. I think your auntie mentioned that this is the largest turnout.
Yes.
I mean, granted, it's 100 years.
Yes.
But the largest turnout. There's many people from the mainland that did come.
Yeah.
What is your favorite mochi dish?
Oh my gosh. Okay, this might be a little like howly of me to say, but I love just mochi with peanut butter in the center.
Oh, yeah.
It is my absolute favorite thing in the whole world because it like the hot mochi, it melts the peanut butter a little bit, it gets a little gooey. I remember because my mom, you know, is white, we always will try to find like different combinations to put in it, and I have such a sweet tooth that I remember a couple years like we went to Foodland and found like this peanut butter chocolate like mixture, almost like Nutella but different, and we're like, all right, we're gonna try this one year, and like each year we just bring the most like random like chocolate or peanut buttery spreads to like put in it and see what works.
Thank you, Ali, for your perspective.
Course.
I really appreciate you sharing your knowledge and the future with us.
Yes.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the plate!
Alright, pop quiz guys. Do you ever wonder how farm fresh ingredients get from the farm to the restaurant? You probably don't think about stuff like that. But that's all we think about. But we're not a farm, and we're not a restaurant. We're the guys who connect the best local products to the best restaurants. We search out new food trends, help with menu options. We're Cisco, and you probably don't know everything we do. But your favorite restaurant? Yeah, they do.
Thank you you for joining me on this special episode of Hawaii Living. We'd like to leave you with a special gift. It's a song written by one of the members of the family, Danny Miyasato, a request to embody the traditions and generations of their family. A song dedicated to the special family bond and tradition that they carry with them here or abroad. May you continue to celebrate for the next 100 years and beyond. Aloha.
There is no bond as strong as we unite as a family. We hope for everyone's goodwill today. In the Lord's hands we pray. For generations we've endured. Family past assured. We thank them for the love and guidance from above. Let us pray. I pledge to keep a family in traditions dear to me. We ask the Lord above strength for all humanity. We ask the Lord above strength